So hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to Kreatryx. Welcome to Unacademy. So in these sessions, we are going to start the communication system and you are going to study the communication system like never before. So before that, let me introduce myself. My name is Vishal Soni and I have cleared ESE examination 2 times, both times in double-digit rank. And I have also served as a Group A Gazetted Officer in Indian Railways and in Indian Telecommunication Services. And I have also cleared a lot of public sector examinations. So right now I'm teaching on Unacademy and I really feel proud to be the part of the Unacademy team, because Unacademy is the revolution in the field of free education and in the field of affordable education, and we as a team are really looking forward for every student to just come onto the Unacademy platform. You can attend the special classes, you can come onto this YouTube channel and you can stay connected with us so that you can understand the quality education and you can understand the efforts that we are putting in, so that every student of this country, whether he stays in a village or he stays in a town, should get the access of the content, that too in a very affordable prices, and he can also or she can also clear the examination with the best possible ranks. So right now I'm teaching on Unacademy with more than 15 million watch minutes in the overall duration and 2 million watch minutes in the last 30 days. So I am right now the top educator in Unacademy across all the branches, having rank 4 right now. And you can also follow me on Unacademy on this particular link. So you can go and follow me on Unacademy. Apart from that, my advice to every student is that how should you crack the examination and what are the components to cracking the examination. So the first question that comes to the mind, that can anyone prepare from the YouTube? Yes, you can prepare from the YouTube, but you should develop or cultivate some habits in yourself. For example, you should be very much disciplined. You should arrange the extra resources. For example, the PDFs you have to arrange, the test series you have to arrange by yourself, and most importantly, that self-discipline you should be containing in yourself, so that you can be very corrective manner and you can approach the examination in the best possible manner. So all these things you have to arrange yourself. The sense of competitiveness you have to cultivate in yourself, because the audience on the YouTube are not that much of competitive in nature, or maybe you cannot feel the competition which is present right now. So all these things are the part of the journey if you want to prepare through the YouTube, or maybe if you want to prepare through the free resources. Apart from that, if you want that you should get complete content, then this is the YouTube channel. On this YouTube channel itself, all the free content are available. You just have to go to the playlist. All the subjects are completed there. You just have to go and watch all the lectures one by one. Definitely will be getting benefited. But the extra things that I have told you, that the self-discipline and the sense of competitiveness and a lot of things you have to arrange by yourself. If you are comfortable in that, then you can do that. Apart from that, you should also have Unacademy learning app, so that the special classes you can attend. A lot of educators in this country are actually providing the special classes, that too absolutely free of cost, so that you can get the quality content in the best possible manner. Apart from that, there is also another component for you, which is Unacademy Plus. So on Unacademy Plus, what is your job? You just have to study. If you join this Unacademy Plus, you do not have to worry about the crash courses, weekly test, doubt solving sessions, the language barrier, rank improvement batches, live classes. So all these things will be taken care by the Unacademy. You just have to take the Unacademy Plus subscription and you have to come on to the Unacademy. You will be daily getting the live classes. You will be getting the crash courses. When you will be getting the crash courses? When the syllabus are completed. You will be getting the weekly test in the form of quizzes. Every fourth class is the doubt solving session, which is the major you can say the component or the major impact will be creating on your studies will be this doubt solving group. Because until and unless your doubts are not being cleared, until and unless you are not able to clear your doubts, you will never get the confidence in the subject. So once you come on to this Unacademy Plus, every fourth class is doubt solving session. Apart from that, various other doubt solving sessions are going on. So ultimately you will be getting your doubts cleared and you will gain confidence in the subject. The language barrier will not be an issue, because the batches will be running both Hindi and in English, and rank improvement batches will also be there. So all these things are the component of this Plus subscription. Once you come on to this Unacademy Plus, you do not have to be worried about your self-discipline, your competitiveness nature. Everything will be present on Unacademy, because a lot of other students will be there. Since the classes will be live, you can also watch it recorded later on. So the discipline automatically comes, because you get the idea that you will be having the daily live classes. Apart from that, there is also one iconic subscription. In this iconic subscription, the game changer is this personal coach. So this subscription is for them who thinks that their basics are weak, or those who are talented but they needs a continuous push. So this personal coach will be guiding you throughout your study. He will be giving you the study planners. You will be getting the study booster sessions. Once you will get the test, you will be getting the analytics. Analytics plays a major role in improving yourself. We as a teacher also get our analytics so that we can improve on the daily basis. So once you start getting the analytics, you will be also improving massively on the daily basis. Apart from that, there will also be the guidance for the mains once you clear the prelims, and there will also be the guidance for the interview once you clear the mains. So once you take the Iconic subscription, all the benefits of the Plus are included by default in this. And if you
Hello friends, welcome to this problem solving video of random variables. So first of all, let us read the question. In this question it is saying that the joint PDF of a random variable x and y is given, and this joint PDF has the value of 1/2 in the shaded region. So this is the shaded region, it is already shown in the problem. In this shaded region, your f of xy x comma y is equal to half. So from here you can see that if you have to define your shaded region, you can define it like this, which means x greater than 0, y greater than 0 and x plus y less than 2. So x greater than 0 means you have to remain on the positive side of the x-axis only. Y greater than 0 means you have to remain on this axis only, and x plus y equal to 2 will be like this. This line will represent x plus y equal to 2. So x plus y equal to 2 means this line will represent x plus y greater than 2, and this region will represent x plus y less than 2. So you can also verify by putting a point origin. If you will put origin here, so it will become 0 plus 0 less than 2 or 0 less than 2, and this inequality holds true, which means the origin must lie in this region, and origin is lying in this region, which is x plus y less than 2. So you have to basically shed this region. So this is the region which is mentioned in the problem. So in this region, x is always positive, y is always positive, and x plus y is always less than or equal to 2. So now, first of all, in the first problem, it is asking about the probability such that x greater than y. So this is your shaded region. X, y, this point is 0, this point is 2, this point is also 2. So this region which is mentioned here is the shaded region. So let me denote it like this. This is the region in which PDF is non-zero. So we define R1 as the region in which PDF is non-zero, and we define R2 as the region in which probability has to be calculated. Probability has to be calculated, and your R becomes R1 intersection R2. So this much we already know, that we have studied in the theory. So this complete represents your region. In the first part, it is asking us to calculate the probability of x greater than y. So it is asking us to calculate the probability of x greater than y. So this becomes R2 for us, and this will be double integration of R fxy x comma y dx comma dy. And what will be R? R will be the intersection of R1 and R2. So this is the R1 region we have already mentioned, the region in which PDF is non-zero. So PDF is non-zero in this region, which is I have outlined here. Now, what is R2? R2 is representing x greater than y. So first of all, I'll make a line of y equal to x. We know that the above region will represent y greater than x, and it will represent y less than x. So we have to find x greater than y. So this complete region which is in this direction this region will represent y less than x, or you can write it as x greater than y. So we have to find out the intersection. So this complete region, which is inside this box, let me draw the horizontal lines. This complete region is R1, and this complete region, which is below this line, this region is R2. Now if you have to find out the intersection of R1 and R2, so what will be its intersection? This R1 is complete triangle and this R2 is a semi-infinite plane which is lying between y less than x. So if you will find out the intersection, so intersection comes out to be this region. So it is the region in which the intersection is coming out to be. So this point will be 1 and this coordinate will also become 1 because this line is y equal to x. So this point also becomes 1. So this is the region of intersection, or let me call this point as R. So I have to find out this intersection in this region. So I can write double integration of R, which is R1 intersection R2, and in this intersection the value of PDF will be half, because in complete region R1 this value of the PDF is half. So in this particular subsection of region R1 will also be, the PDF will be half. So you can write it as 1 by 2 double integration of R dx dy. We know that it will represent 1 by 2 into area of region R. So how will you calculate the area of region R? You can calculate it by calculating its area, because this R is representing a triangle whose base is 2 and whose height is 1. So it comes out to be 1 by 2. So now let's move on to the next part of the same question. In the next part, it is asking us to calculate probability of 2x plus y greater than 1. So it will represent your R2. It will become double integration of R fxy x comma y dx dy. Now what will be R2? R2 is representing a region which is 2x plus y greater than 1. So what I will do, I will first of all draw the line 2x plus y equal to 1. So the line 2x plus y equal to 1 will be like this. This point will become 1. This point will become half. And it is the line whose equation is 2x plus y equal to 1. So obviously we have to find the region in which 2x plus y is greater than 1. So this will be the region in which 2x plus y will be greater than 1. So again, this is the shaded region, or let me call this region as R1. Again, this section will represent 2x plus y greater than 1. So this complete region, or this semi-infinite plane above line 2x plus y equal to 1 will represent the 2x plus y greater than 1, or basically it will represent your R2. So what will be the intersection point? You can very clearly see that the intersection point is this region, this point, and this particular region. In this particular region, this yellow and this pink line are getting intersected. So this is the region which I have outlined from here to here, here to here, and here to here. So this region will represent your region R. So let me shade it with this black color. So this is your region R. So we have to calculate this in this particular region. So what you can do, again, you see that in this region R, which is a subsection of the triangle, so the value of the PDF will become half, because the value of the PDF is half in the complete triangle. So in subsection it will also be half. So it becomes dx dy. Again, I can take 1 by 2 as common. It becomes double integration of 1 into dx dy, and it represents 1 by 2 into area of region R. So how to calculate this area? You can calculate its area by subtracting the complete area of triangle from this smaller triangle. So if you consider this is smaller triangle which is present here and the larger triangle, so you can calculate its area. So the area of the larger triangle becomes half base into height minus area of the smaller triangle becomes half base into height. So here base is half, this height is 1, and in a larger triangle the base is 2 and height is also 2. So by solving this you can get 1 by 2, this 2 gets cancelled out, 2 minus 1 by 4. So it becomes your 7 by 8 in this question. Now let us try to solve the next part of the same question. So in the third part it is asking us to calculate probability of x plus y equal to 1. So it will act as R2. It will be double integration of R f of xy x comma y dx dy. So what will be R? R will be a single line which is x plus y equal to 1, and this is your region R1 and this is your region R2. So in this case the R2 is not a region, rather it is a single line. So what will be the intersection point? The intersection point will be this line only. So this will be the intersection point. So you can write this as double integration of R. It becomes half 1 by 2 dx dy. So you can write it as 1 by 2 double integration of R dx dy. So you have to find out the area of the line. We know that we cannot find the area of the line. For area to be calculated, there must be finite region or there must be a surface present. If you have to find out the area of a line, then area of a line is always going to be 0. So this R in this case is representing a single line. So this area is always going to be 0. Now the next part which it is asking is, let us calculate. So in the next part it is asking us to calculate probability of x greater than 2. So again this will become your R2 and this region is your R1. These horizontal lines will define R1. Now we have to find out probability of x greater than 2. So this will be the line which will represent x equal to 2 and all these regions will represent x greater than 2. So this becomes your R2. So from here you can see that this R1 into R2 section is 5, which means if you will calculate the area under the curve f of xy x comma y dx dy, and you have to calculate this region. So this region does not exist, or we can say that there is no common intersection is existing between the probability of the region in which we are interested and the region in which this PDF exists. So whenever this R1 intersection R2 comes out to be 5, in all that cases you can say that your probability is going to be 0 because this R1 intersection R2 becomes 5. So there is no common region in which this integration can be calculated. Double integration is calculated based upon the identification of the region. Now let's move on to the next part of this question. In the next part it is asking us to calculate the conditional probability of x greater than y upon x greater than 1. So you can write it as probability of x greater than y intersection x greater than 1 upon probability of x greater than 1. So in this probability of x greater than 1 we have to calculate, and let us see which we have already calculated. So in the first part you have already calculated probability of x greater than y. This was the fourth part, and in the fifth part we have to calculate this. So first of all you should take the intersection of this probability of x greater than y and x greater than 1. So This is the region. So I have to calculate these two probabilities. So first I will calculate probability of x greater than y intersection x greater than 1. So again you can see that this will be your region R1. Then x greater than 1 will become, this will be x equal to 1, and x greater than 1 becomes this region. So this is your x greater than 1. So you can very clearly see that the common intersection will come in this region. So this is the common intersection region. Now, again, we have to also find out, this is your R2. So we have calculated this probability of x greater than 1. Let me consider this as R2. So it will become double integration of R2, double integration of R f of xy x comma y, and where this R will become R1 intersection R2. So if I consider this as R2, so this region becomes our R. This is your R for this particular calculation. Now we come to this calculation. Let me call this R2 dash. So this R2 dash will become, first of all, we have to calculate the R2 dash, then R will become R1 intersection R2 dash. So R1 is this triangle. First of all, let us calculate this R2 dash. So R2 dash itself is the intersection of x greater than 1 and x greater than y. So let me calculate how will it look like. So this is your 0, 2, 2. This is y, this is x. This point is x equal to 1. And this point will become y equal to x. So at x equal to 1, this y will also become 1. So here you have to first of all understand that this region, which is this region, this is again your R1. So first of all you have to calculate your R2 dash. R2 dash is intersection of x greater than y and x greater than 1. So we know that this region will represent x greater than 1 and this region will represent x greater than y. So you have to take intersection of these two regions, which means you have to stay right side on this line and you have to come downwards on this line, and finally you have to take the intersection with R1. So you can very clearly see that this is the common region, which we can represent it as R dash. So this R dash is the intersection of this R1 and R2 dash. R1 is this triangle and R2 dash is nothing but the intersection of this x greater than y and x greater than 1. So this will represent x greater than y, which means we have to stay downward to this line and we have to be right side on this line. So only intersection region which can be considered, or only subsection of this triangle which can be considered, remains this. Very clearly you can see from here that this R dash and this R both are nothing but same. So if you will calculate its expression, so it will become double integration of R dash, which is same as R f of xy x comma y dx dy. So finally you have to calculate the ratio, which is probability of x greater than y upon x greater than 1. So it will become probability of x greater than y intersection x greater than 1 upon probability of x greater than 1. So it becomes double integration of R fxy x comma y dx dy, let me call this as r dash. It becomes double integration of r fxy x comma y dx dy. So from here you can see that this r dash and r remains same, so this ratio will always become 1. So this question was very important. So in this case also we have to find out 2 times the double integration with respect to the joint PDF. So for the joint PDF we calculate double integration 2 times, one for this p of x greater than 1 and another one for this particular expression. So from here we calculated this r2 and from here we calculated this r2 dash. So in this manner you can say that this ratio is always going to be 1. So now let's move on to the next question and let us understand what it is saying. Now this is the next question. So in this question it is saying that x and y are 2 random variables and having the joint PDF as shown in the figure. So this joint PDF is cxy, which is varying from 0 to 2 in x and 1 to 2 in y. So first of all we have to calculate the value of c. So we know that this is your joint PDF. This is your joint PDF where x is between 0 to 2, y is between 1 to 3 and it is 0 elsewhere. So we know that the double integration from minus infinite to infinite, minus infinite to infinite, fxy x comma y dx dy becomes 1. So first of all I will define the R1. R1 means the region in which PDF exists. So if you will see that, so it will become the region in the xy plane in which PDF exists. So PDF exists in the region where y varies from 1 to 3 and x varies from 0 to 2. So this is the region in which PDF exists. So this is the region R1. Now this can also be written as double integration of R1 fxy x comma y dx dy. So let me put the values, it will be 1. So let me put all the values. So you can write double integration of R1 fxy becomes cxy dx dy equal to 1. Now very clearly you can see that it is the implicit function, so I can also write it as c x dx into y dy, it should be equal to 1. You can very clearly see from here that x is varying from 0 to 2 and y is varying from 1 to 3. So you can solve this integration, it becomes c of x square by 2, x varies from 0 to 2, this is y square by 2, it varies from 1 to 3, it becomes equal to 1. So it will become c into 4 by 2 into 9 minus 1 by 2 and it should be 1. So c becomes 4 by 4 into 8, or you can call it as 1 by 8. So c becomes finally 1 by 8. This was the first part which it was asking. Now let's see the next part. In the next part it is asking the probability. The second part, it is asking the probability in which x is varying from 0 to 1 and y is varying from 1 to 2. So this can be written as, it will become R2. So it will become double integration of R f of xy x comma y dx dy. So we have to find out this r, which is r1 intersection r2. So this is x, this is y. First of all, I will make the r1. So we are comfortable with the r1, that r1 is from 0 to 2 and from 1 to 3. So this is your r1. This is the r1. Now I am just outlining the region. So this region is completely representing your r1. What is r2? In r2, x is varying from 0 to 1. So x will vary from 0 to 1 and y will vary from 1 to 2. So it will vary from 1 to 2. So this is the region of r2. Now if you will take the intersection of r1 intersection r2, then you can see that this complete region, outer rectangle is your r1, inner rectangular is r2. So the overall intersection of r1 intersection r2 will become again r2. So this can be written as double integration of r2 cxy dx dy. So in the r2 you can again write it as, because this x and y are implicit functions, so I can write it as x dx y dy. X is varying from 0 to 1, y is varying from 1 to 2. C we have already calculated as 1 by 8. It becomes x square by 2 0 to 1, y square by 2 1 to 2. So it becomes 1 by 32 into 1 4 minus 1. So this answer becomes 3 by 32. Now let's move on to the third part, in which it is asking us to calculate the probability of x plus y less than 3. So this will become r2 and it will become double integration of r fxy x comma y dx dy, and here r will be intersection of r1 and r2. So r1 we know that the region in which PDF exists. So this is the region in which PDF exists from y equal to 1 to 3, and in x is varies from 0 to 2. So in x it varies from x equal to 0 to x equal to 2, and in y it varies from y equal to 1 to y equal to 3. So it will be the region of R1. Now what will be R2? R2 is your x plus y less than 3. So we can draw this x plus y equal to 3. So we can see that if you will draw x plus y equal to 3, so at x equal to 2, y will become 1. So this at x equal to 2, this y is already 1, and this graph of x plus y equal to 3 will look like this. So it will pass through this point and it will reach to this point. So this becomes x plus y equal to 3, but we need x plus y less than 3. So this will be the region which will represent x plus y less than 3, or R2. So this R2 is this semi-infinite plane and this R1 is this rectangular box. So if you will take the intersection, so the intersection comes out to be this common region, which you can represent it like this. So the region below this semi-infinite plane, this region will be x plus y less than 3. So this is the region which is below this line, or this overall semi-infinite plane. All this plane represents x plus y less than 3. And if you will take the intersection of the R1, which means this rectangular box, and this semi-infinite plane, so the intersection comes out to be in this region. So this is the intersection region. This is the region of intersection, or I can call this as region R. So this becomes finally your region R. So you have to calculate this integration in this particular region. So now to calculate the integration, what you can do, you can write this double integration of x. It becomes xy by 8, because value of c you have already calculated. It becomes dx dy. Now we know that here it is dx dy, and here it is having some function of x and y, so we cannot simply take this x and y as outside. And also this region is not the constant region, rather it is a varying region. So to calculate this double integration, we know that we have to cut the vertical strip. So I will cut the vertical strip here. This is the vertical strip. So you can say that as you will move this vertical strip in this direction, the limit of x will vary from x equal to 0 to x equal to 2, and the limit of y will vary from y equal to 1 to y equal to 3 minus x. So I will write this x equal to 0 to x equal to 2, and it varies from y equal to 1 to 3 minus x, and it becomes xy by 8 dy dx. So here you will have a basic information of the double integration. So first of all, revise your double integration carefully, then you must attempt these type of questions. We know that the inner integration is with respect to the function whose limit we are putting. So we are putting the function's limit y equal to 1 to 3 minus x, so that is why inner limit will be on dy. So this integration finally becomes probability of x plus y less than 3, and it becomes x equal to 0 to x equal to 2, and y equal to 1 to y equal to 3 minus x. So it becomes xy by 8 dy dx. So this becomes your x equal to 0 to x equal to 2. The inner integration is with respect to y, so this x by 8 will be treated as a constant, and it becomes y square by 2. The limit of y becomes from 1 to 3 minus x dx. So this becomes x equal to 0 to x equal to 2. It becomes x by 16. So it becomes 3 minus x whole square minus 1 dx. So finally this becomes x equal to 0 to x equal to 2, x by 16. It becomes 9 plus x square minus 6x minus 1 dx. So finally this integration becomes 1 by 16. I am taking it as outside. It becomes x equal to 0 to x equal to 2. You can write it as x cube minus 6x square plus 8x dx. So we have to solve this integration. It will become 1 by 16 x power 4 by 4 minus 6x cube by 3 plus 8x square by 2, and this limit of x comes out to be from x equal to 0 to x equal to 2. So this becomes 1 by 16, 2 power 4 becomes 16 by 4 minus 8 sorry, it will be minus 16 plus 16. This comes out to be 1 by 16 into 16 by 4, and it becomes 1 by 4. So answer for this question comes out to be 1 by 4. Now let's move on to the next question. So in this question, it is saying that x and y are two random variables having joint density function. So this is the joint density function which is given here, and in this function X is also positive. Here it is written as negative, so you must correct it. It is positive. So in this question, you are having y equal to x and y are two random variables, and they are having joint density function, where this joint density function is kx for x positive, y positive, and x plus y less than equal to 1, and it is 0 elsewhere. So we have to find out two probabilities. One is probability of x less than half, another one is x plus y less than half. So first of all, we must understand how to draw the R1. R1 means the region in which PDF existed. So if you draw the R1, it will become x, y. So R1 is existing in the region in which x is positive, which means in this direction, y is positive, which means this direction, which becomes the first quadrant, and x plus y less than 1. So this is the line of x plus y equal to 1. This represents x plus y greater than 1, and this represents x plus y less than 1. So overall region that you will draw will become xy becomes like this. So this is the region of x plus y equal to 1. So this will be the limit of this function, and this region is representing your R1. In this region, your PDF is existing, or you can say your PDF is non-zero. So this is the complete region. So first of all, we have to find out the probability of x less than half. So to find out the probability of x less than half, we know that this will be the region R2, and it will represent the double integration R f of x comma y xy dx dy. Now this R will represent R1 intersection R2. So we have to find out this region R. So we have already find out the region R1, which is this region 0, 1, 1. This complete region is your R1. Now what is R2? R2 is x less than half. So we have to make a line for x equal to half, and this region will become x less than half. So it represents x less than half. So the common intersection region will become this. So this is representing your R1. This is representing your R2, and this common intersection in between will become your R. So you have to find integration in this particular region. Now if this is x equal to half, so obviously this point will also become 1 by 2. So let us solve this. So this probability of x less than half becomes double integration of R fxy x comma y is nothing but it is kx dx dy. So here also what you can do, you can cut a vertical strip in this region R. This is your vertical strip, and on this vertical strip you can see that your x is changing from x equal to 0 to x equal to half, and y is changing from y equal to 0 to y equal to 1 minus x, because the equation of this line is x plus y equal to 1. So you can write from here that here the x will vary from x equal to 0 to half, because I'm considering this region, this particular region. In this particular region, you have to calculate the integration. So the double integration is always calculated in a region. For that, we have cut this vertical strip. On this vertical strip, x is varying from 0 to half if strip moves like this, and y changes from 0 to 1 minus x. So this becomes x equal to 0 to x equal to half, and y direction it becomes from y equal to 0 to y equal to 1 minus x. So it becomes kx dx dy. Now this integration will become x equal to 0 to x equal to half, y equal to 0 to y equal to 1 minus x. So it becomes kx dy dx, because the inner box is integrating with respect to y. That is why I have put y dy with it. So you can write x equal to 0 to x equal to half. Since integration is with respect to y, so this kx acts as a constant, and integration of dy becomes y. It becomes from y equal to 0 to 1 minus x dx. So it finally becomes x equal to 0 to x equal to half. It becomes kx into 1 minus x dx. So you can solve this integration, which is from x equal to 0 to x equal to 1 by 2. K I can take outside. It becomes x minus x square dx. So this will become k into x square by 2 minus x cube by 3, from x equal to 0 to x equal to half. So this will become k into 1 by 8 minus 1 by 24. So it can be written as 2 by 24, or this can be written as k by 12. So the answer should be probability of x less than half will become k by 12. So we can also calculate the value of k. How to calculate the value of k? We know that fxy, x comma y is given as kx for x greater than 0, y greater than 0, and x plus y less than 1, and 0 elsewhere. So from here you can see that this minus infinite to infinite, minus infinite to infinite, fxy, x comma y, dx dy should be equal to 1, or you can say that this double integration of r1 fxy, x comma y, dx dy should be 1. And what is this region r1? This we already know that r1 is nothing but a triangle. So this is x, this is y, and this will become your r1. 0, 1, 1, and it is the equation of x plus y equal to 1. This becomes your r1. So this is the region r1. In this region we have to calculate this integration. So you can see that in this region, double integration of r1, this is kx dx dy equal to 1. So you can see first of all that it is not 1 into dx dy, otherwise I could have directly calculated its area. Rather, it is some function of x comma y into dx dy. So in all that cases, what we should do, we must cut a strip, whether vertical or horizontal. So I'll cut a vertical strip in this region, and we will move that strip in this direction. So from here you can see that as you will move this strip in this direction, the x will vary from 0 to 1 and y will vary from 0 to 1 minus x. Now, why did I not put the values of x and y directly? Because in this case, the values of x and y are not constant, rather they are function. x is greater than 0, y is greater than 0, but the upper limit of the x and y is not constant, it is variable. So that is why I have used this vertical strip. Or basically you have to find out this double integration with the concept of mathematics. So whatever concept of the double integration you are comfortable with, you can use. I am telling you the basic concept that if you have to calculate double integration, then you must cut a strip in the region. If both the limits are constant, then instead of cutting the strip, you can directly put the limits. So it will become double integration of r1. Now you have cut the vertical strip, so this x will vary from 0 to 1 and this y will vary from 0 to 1 minus x. So it becomes kx dy dx equal to 1. So I put the inner integration with respect to dy because the inner limits are with respect to y. So you can write this as x equal to 0 to x equal to 1, and it will become from y equal to 0 to y equal to 1 minus x kx dy dx equal to 1. So this integration becomes x equal to 0 to x equal to 1. This k and x be treated as a constant when integration is with respect to y. So this can be written as y. The limit will become from 0 to 1 minus x dx dy equal to 1. So it will become kx into 1 minus x x equal to 0 to 1 dx equal to 1. So it becomes k into x square minus x cube by 3, and limit becomes from 0 to 1 becomes 1. This is x square by 2. So after putting the limit, it becomes 1 by 2 minus 1 by 3 equal to 1, or it becomes k by 6 equal to 1, or k becomes 6. So in this way you can calculate the value of 6. So till now you would have noticed that this double integration questions you can easily solve once the basic concepts of double integration you are comfortable with. Or also all the questions of this two-dimensional random variable will be most of the times based on the calculation of the double integration. Now let us solve the second part of this question. In the second part, it is asking the probability of x plus y should be less than half. So this becomes your r2. Now you have to find out double integration of r fxy dx dy. So you can find it as xy kx dx dy. So this value of k you also have calculated, will become 6x dx dy. So basically we have to find out the region R, which is intersection of R1 and R2. So it will become this is your R1, R2 is x plus y less than half. So this is your region R1, and R2 becomes x plus y less than half. So this will become x plus y equal to half, 0, 1, 1, and x plus y less than half will be in this region. So this will be x plus y less than half, and this will be x plus y greater than half. So you know that R1 is nothing but R1 is this triangle. So R1 is the region inside this triangle. What is R2? R2 is the semi-infinite plane, which is all the regions which is existing below this x plus y equal to 1, which means all the region below this line is representing x plus y less than half. So this is your R2. What will be intersection of R1 and R2? very clearly you can see that the intersection is coming out to be this. So this is your R. In this region, the triangle and the semi-infinite plane which is below x plus y equal to 1 are overlapping with each other or having the common intersection. So again, this region which you are calculating here is representing a triangle, and we have to find this double integration. So again, in this region we will cut a vertical strip. On this vertical strip, if you will move in this direction, this x varies from 0 to half and y varies from 0 to 1 by 2 minus x. This will be x plus 1, 1 by 2. This will be x plus y equal to 1. So this integration can be calculated as double integration of value of x changes from x equal to 0 to x equal to 1, 1 by 2, and value of y changes from y equal to 0 to 1 by 2 minus x. It becomes 6x dx dy. So you can see that as this strips moves, this x varies from this 0 to x equal to half and y varies from 0 to 1 by 2 minus x. This line is x plus y equal to 1 and this line is your x plus y equal to half. So you can represent it as x equal to 0 to x equal to half, y equal to 0 to y equal to 1 by 2 minus x. It becomes 6x dy dx. So again, this 6x will be used as a constant and the integration of y will become y and the limit reaches from 0 to 1 by 2 minus x dx. So this can be written as x equal to 0 to x equal to half 6x half minus x dx. So you can write it as x equal to 0 to 1 by 2. So it becomes x equal to 0 to x equal to half. When you multiply it inside, it will become 3x minus 6x square. 3x minus 6x square dx. So upon integration, it becomes 3x square by 2 minus 6x cube by 3. And this limit becomes from x equal to 0 to half. So it will become 3 by 2 into 1 by 4 minus 2 into 1 by 8. So it becomes 3 by 8 minus 2 by 8, or the final answer comes out to be 1 by 8. So all these questions are based upon the idea of the double integration. Let's move on to the next question. In this question, it is saying that we have to consider the independent random variables x and y with identical distribution. And x and y takes values with the probability 1 by 2, 1 by 4, 1 by 4, which means the probability that x becomes 0 is same as the probability that y becomes 0 and it becomes 1 by 2. Similarly, the probability such that x becomes 1 is same as such that probability of y becomes 1 and it also becomes 1 by 4. Similarly, the probability of x equal to 2 is same as probability of y equal to 2 and it also becomes 1 by 4. Now we have to calculate the conditional probability x plus y equal to 2 upon x minus y equal to 0. So we know that in case of conditional probabilities, probability of a by b can be written as probability of a intersection b upon pb. So this you can write it as x plus y equal to 2 intersection x minus y equal to 0 upon probability x minus y equal to 0. So we have to make such combinations initially in which this x plus y means summation of x and y gives 2 and difference of x and y gives 0. So we can say that the summation of x and y can be obtained 0 in different cases, but if we want simultaneously that and x and y should be summation should be 2 and this should be 0, so it should be strictly the case when x is strictly equal to 1 intersection y is strictly equal to 1. So this is the case in which if you will take the summation will give you result 2 and the difference will give you the result 0. Similarly, if you have to take x minus y equal to 0, then you know that this x minus y will become equal to 0 only when both x and y are same. It means it can be the intersection of x equal to 0, intersection y equal to 0, or intersection of x equal to 1, intersection y equal to 1, or intersection of x equal to 2 and y equal to 2. So this you have to calculate. Now another important parameter which is given here is that x and y are independent random variables. So we know that if x and y are independent random variables, so this px intersection y can be written as px into py. So this integration finally becomes probability of x plus y equal to 2 upon x minus y equal to 0. It becomes equal to probability of x equal to 1 into probability of y equal to 1 upon probability of x equal to 0 into probability of y equal to 0 plus probability of x equal to 1 into probability of y equal to 1 plus probability of x equal to 2 into probability of y equal to 2. So this becomes probability of x equal to 1 and y equal to 1. So we have already obtained the probabilities. So it becomes 1 by 4 into 1 by 4. Similarly, it becomes 1 by 2 into 1 by 2 plus 1 by 4 into 1 by 4 plus 1 by 4 into 1 by 4. So it becomes 1 by 16 and this becomes 6 by 16. So upon solving, you get the result as 1 by 6. This type of questions you can also calculate it as, you know that if you have to calculate the joint PMF, the joint PMF will become Px of x into Py of y when x and y are independent. So x and y are independent, so you can write it like this. So it becomes probability of x equal to x into probability of y equal to y. Now you can simply make the joint PMF table, joint PMF table. So in this joint PMF table, this y equal to 0, this is y equal to 1, this is y equal to 2, this is x equal to 0, x equal to 1, x equal to 2. So here you have to write the joint PMF. So this joint PMF becomes pxy 0 comma 0, it becomes pxy 0 comma 1, it becomes pxy 0 comma 2. Similarly, it becomes pxy 1 comma 0, it becomes pxy 1 comma 1, it becomes pxy 1 comma 2. Here also it becomes pxy 2 comma 0, it becomes pxy 2 comma 1, and it becomes pxy 2 comma 2. So this eventually can be written as y equal to 0, y equal to 1, y equal to 2, x equal to 0, x equal to 1, is equal to 2. So this pxy0 can be written as px of 0, py of 0, or px of 0 into py of 0. So upon multiplication it becomes 1 by 4. Similarly, it becomes 1 by 8, it becomes 1 by 8. This becomes 1 by 8, 1 by 16, 1 by 16. It becomes 1 by 8, 1 by 16, 1 by 16. So simply you have to use these equations and you have to multiply the probabilities. Individual probabilities are already known, so the table can be made like this. Now you have to calculate the ratio of the probabilities in which this x plus y equal to 2 upon x minus y equal to 0. So it becomes basically your x plus y equal to 2 intersection x minus y equal to 0 upon probability of x minus y equal to 0. So you have to find out the intersection in which this x plus y becomes 2 and x minus y becomes 0. So you can say that first of all, if I want to calculate this probability in which x minus y becomes 0, so it will be the probabilities in which x and y are same, which means these diagonal elements. So this summation of diagonal elements will represent the probability of x minus y equal to 0, and in between this particular probability will represent that at this point the summation of x plus y is 2, because in this case x is 1, y is 1. Simultaneously the difference of x minus y is also 0, so it comes out to be 1 by 16. So this probability of x minus y 0 becomes summation of the diagonal elements 1 by 4, 1 by 16, 1 by 16, and it becomes 1 by 16. So whenever you will calculate the ratio of 1 by 16 upon 6 by 16, so it is again comes out to be 1 by 6. So this type of question you can calculate by constructing the joint PMF table or by using common sense. Now let's move on to the next question of the similar type. In this case also x and y are two independent random variables. Now random variables are two binary random variables, which means they can take only two values. So it is written here that x can take two values, either 0 or 1. Similarly y can take two values, either 0 or 1, and it is defined that probability of x equal to 0 is p, and probability of y equal to 0 is q. So here it should be y equal to 0. So it is mentioned in the question that probability of x equal to 0 is p and probability of y equal to 0 is q. So in the question it is given that x can take two values, either 0 or 1. Similarly y can take two values, either 0 or 1. So this probability of x equal to 0 becomes small p, and probability of x equal to 1 becomes 1 minus small p. Similarly probability of y equal to 0 becomes q, and probability equal to y equal to 1 will become 1 minus q. So we have to calculate the probability such that x plus y becomes greater than 1. This can be also written as 1 minus probability that this x plus y becomes less than 1. And this x plus y will become less than 1 only when probability of x intersection y 0. So when x and y both will be 0, in that case only the summation will become less than 1. Otherwise the summation will either become equal to 1 or greater than 1. Since x and y are independent random variables, so it can be written as probability of x equal to 0 into probability of y equal to 0. So in the problem, probability of x equal to 0 is mentioned as p and probability of y equal to 0 is mentioned as q. So the answer becomes 1 minus pq.
So hopefully we have understood every concept in this class. If you have any doubt in any concept, you can let me know in the comment section. I'll try to resolve that thing. Apart from that, you can also follow me on various social media platforms. For example, you can join this Telegram group where you will be getting important notification, important updates. This is Telegram group where you can also comment, you can ask your queries, or maybe you can also suggest me for the improvement. Apart from that, this is my Unacademy profile. On this Unacademy profile, you should also follow me so that you can get the important updates of the Unacademy also, right? And this is the Notion page. You just have to type this tiny.cc/vishalgate. So you will be redirected to a page where all the special classes are arranged very systematically. तो मैंने बहुत सारे टॉपिक्स पे स्पेशल क्लास ले रखी है. फॉर एग्जाम्पल नाइक्विस्ट, फूरियर सीरीज, latches and flip flop, double integrations, okay, lot of things are there. So you will be getting all these concepts absolutely free of cost. You just have to type this in your URL, you will be redirected to that page and attend these lectures one by one. You will be getting a next level confidence in these topics that I can guarantee you. Now this is the Notion page of your YouTube, on which you will be getting the links of the YouTube. Apart from that, you will be also getting the PDFs of that particular lecture. So this is very important for you, and just you have to type http://bit.ly/gatelive. So gatelive, you just have to type it in the capital so that you can access all the lectures link and PDF arranged systematically. So if you want to attend or you want to clear the examination with the free resource, then this is the channel for you. This is the best recorded videos which has been ever made. You just have to go to that lecture, just click the link and download the PDF and start studying systematically. So we have also done this for you so that any student, whether he is sitting any part of this country, should not face the difficulty in cracking the examination, whether he can afford or he cannot. Now if you can afford, then the subscription prices are not something which you cannot pay. It is very nominal amount which you can pay, and you can just avoid all the distractions, all the time wastage which we will be doing in downloading those PDFs, arranging them, arranging for the test series, and a lot of other things that you have to arrange, doubt solvings you have to arrange by yourself. If you want to avoid all those distractions in a very nominal amount, so you can go for the Unacademy Plus subscription. For 12-month subscription, you have to pay only 74 rupees per day. Apart from that, for 18-month subscription, which is the best possible subscription, you have to pay 63 rupees per day. It is even lesser than the pizzas that you order on your home. So it is that much of amount that can shape your career, that can give you the best possible rank in the examinations under the guidance of the best teachers of the country, which has been right now placed on the Unacademy. Now 24-month subscription will cost you 54 rupees per day. So these subscription amounts will give you the subscription for the desired period. Apart from that, if you are using this code, you just have to remember this code, write my name, write GATE after it. You can also write ESE after it. So you have to write my name and write ESE after it. So any one of these code, once you apply, you will be immediately getting the 10% discount. You will be getting all the features of the Unacademy. You will be getting the guidance of all the teachers present on Unacademy, and everything you will be getting that is needed to crack the examination once you are using this code. So if you think we are working hard, we are giving our best content, we are giving the free content absolutely for you guys, and everything that is needed for every student to crack the examination. So never forget to use this code whenever you are taking the subscription. So this code is very important and you have to use every time you are taking the subscription. Now those who are interested for the prices, total price amount, so let me tell you, total price is 27,225 for 12 month, 34,650 for 18, and for 24 month it is 39,600. You can also pay this by using zero cost EMI. Zero cost EMI can be paid by credit card and debit card. In debit cards, there are only Bajaj and HDFC as of now available. Okay, so the zero cost EMI means you do not have to pay anything extra. Any interest is not, you should not pay, and you have to pay this much of amount on the daily basis if you are looking for the zero cost EMI option. Apart from that, if you are coming for Iconic subscription, so Iconic mein, I have already told you that your personal coach will be the game changer. He will be he will be basically following you to give you the guidance so that you can get the success in a very short span of time. So he will be following you, he will be pushing you every time. Now once you use this coupon code, this will be costing you around 45,225, and if you are using this coupon code, write my name, GATE after it, you will be getting the 24-month subscription of Iconic in 66,600 rupees. Fine. Apart from that, every one of you should follow this GATE aspirant group, and there also some important notification always comes. Now what are the YouTube channels that you should immediately subscribe? This Kreatryx, this is the channel on which you are present. This is Unacademy GATE questions, where previous year questions has been solved by the educators. So you'll be getting all the previous year questions video solution apart from the PDF also. This is the Electrical Junction channel, where you will be getting the important concepts of ECE and electrical, and this is Engineering Pathshala, where you will be getting some practical aspect of the videos, some animated videos that will enhance your ability to think. So these are the channels which you should immediately subscribe so that you can get a better content. Fine. Now these are my some YouTube videos which I have created for you. In all of these videos will give you some motivation, guidance, content, and some strategy. So these are hand-picked videos. You can immediately follow these videos. Okay, so thank you so much, and those who are coming on this channel, immediately share all the content which is present on this channel. We are working very hard for you guys, so this is your responsibility that you should share this channel, you should subscribe this channel, also share the link of this channel, link of the videos, link of the educator whom you follow, so that every student who is needy, they can come onto this channel and they can get the best possible rank. So all the best everyone, let's crack it.